Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you find it helpful. So in case you're new here, my name is Derek from Simnett Nutrition. I'm a holistic nutritionist, but I'm also a YouTuber, which is why we're here together. It's 2019, it's the beginning of a new year, new me, new diet, new lifestyle. So a lot of you guys are probably gonna be trying to eat plant-based, vegan, eat more plants, whatever it might be. I wanna help you guys. I wanna be a safe space, a landing pad, someone that helps you do it. And I think that I have some information that'll help you guys. So about 3 years ago, actually not about, exactly 3 years ago, I made a video that was titled Advice for New Vegans, B12, Protein, and More, or something like that. And it's been one of my most viewed videos ever. It has something like over 600,000 views, and it was one of the first videos that I ever did that kind of reached a lot of people, and I still get people watching that video every single day, people commenting, telling me that I've introduced them to veganism and helped them transition. So I thought 3 years later, I figured this was a good time to kind of do another one and touch on some other subjects. So it's still a great video. I still like everything that I said in that, so definitely check out that video. I'll put a link in the description down below if you haven't seen it. But hopefully in this one, I'll be able to give you some new tips. And if you're already vegan and you're like, Derek, I know all this stuff already, well, I'm gonna throw a recipe in right at the end, which is one of my favorite things to make, so that I have lots of food on hand, some good healthy calories that I can build meals around. And yeah, it's really simple, but a good thing to have in the fridge. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna be sharing a little one-pot recipe with you guys using some of those ingredients over there. But first I'm gonna share these 8 tips with you that I think will help you either transition to a vegan diet or succeed on a vegan diet if you're already kind of there. But first, I wanna give you guys props, congratulate you, just say that I'm proud of you for taking your health into your own hands. So there's a lot of factors that we can't control that affect our health, like environmental toxins and our crappy genetics that our parents gave us. But one thing that we definitely can control is what we put into our mouth, and that's gonna have one of the biggest effects on our health, especially in the long run. So the very first tip I wanna give you guys, and it's a simple one, but it's where most people mess up when they transition to a vegan diet, especially a whole foods, plant-based vegan diet, which is what we should all strive for, is by not eating enough calories. So in order to feel your best on this diet and to gain the amazing benefits that come with it, you're gonna wanna eat primarily whole foods. And we're talking about fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes. You wanna be eating all that stuff, and a lot of it. But what a lot of people don't realize is how calorically sparse a lot of those foods are. So just to give you guys an example, a cup of black beans would be around 240 calories, whereas a cup of lean chicken breast, the same size, would be about 420 calories. So just keep that in mind when you're making your meals, or if at the end of the day you find like you're super hungry and you're binging on foods that you shouldn't be, it probably means you just haven't had enough calories that day. So a good way to make sure that you are eating enough is to track your food for a little while. I know it's tedious and it's not something we want to be doing forever, but it will help you when you're first transitioning. So use a program like Chronometer, which is an awesome one, the one that I prefer. A lot of people like MyFitnessPal as well. I'm sure there's a ton of other ones out there. But yeah, this will really help you dial everything in, and it'll even help you see how many nutrients and vitamins and everything that you're getting to make sure that you're gonna come up deficient in any of those vitamins. But as long as you're eating a variety of plant foods, and you're eating enough, you're gonna be getting everything that you need. So the second thing I'd like to share with you guys is don't make it too complicated. And what I mean by that is it's hard for us to make a lot of changes at one time. So if you've been eating, you know, a standard American diet, and then all of a sudden you say, you know what, it's a new year, I'm gonna eat super healthy, I'm gonna go raw vegan, or I'm gonna do a 2-week-long juice cleanse or whatever, it's gonna be so much harder for you to develop the healthy habits that are gonna transfer into long-term health and long-term habits. So if you're used to having beef burritos every day at lunch, just make veggie burritos. Just leave the beef out of it. Put a bunch of veggies in, put some salsa in there, whatever else. Eat the foods that you're comfortable and used to eating, just without the meat, without the dairy. So the third thing is to educate yourself, and don't be scared to supplement. And I just mean, like, don't let the idea that you might have to take a B12 supplement stop you from starting this lifestyle, because it is such a small, minute detail to this whole thing that people tend to blow way out of proportion. B12 should be taken by everybody. There's a lot of people that are B12 deficient that aren't vegans. I don't want to go on a rant about that right now, but it's true. So vegan or not, supplement B12. And what I mean by educate yourself is find some reputable sources that you can follow along and you can learn. Like, get excited about learning about your health and about nutrition, because it's an exciting thing. Like, we learn about so many things in life that really don't affect us as much as like our health and the nutrition that we eat. So be stoked, be proud of yourself and excited, and find some good reliable sources like nutritionfacts.org, like the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine, PCRM is another really good one. And then there's tons of YouTubers like myself who do this as well. And then the more you research about this, the more you're gonna learn about what supplements you feel like you need to take and which ones you don't need to take. And I think vitamin B12, like I mentioned, for everybody, and then vitamin D3 if you live in a place like me in the north here in Canada, where we get some really dark months, you're definitely gonna wanna be supplementing with vitamin D3 as well. And just a little side note, most D3 is made from lanolin, which is sheep's wool, so if you want to keep it vegan, you're going to have to find a lichen-sourced D3. They're out there, there's lots of them out there, it's not too hard to find, just go on Amazon or whatever, you'll find it. So the fourth one is a simple one, but it's very hard to do sometime, and it is to be kind to yourself. When we're making these big changes in our life like this, it's gonna take some sacrifices, and sometimes we're gonna mess up, and sometimes we're gonna slip back into our old ways, and that's okay. I always say progress over perfection, and I like that because I feel like it takes the focus off of having to be perfect all the time and getting all down on ourselves if we mess up or whatever, and it kind of changes that to the focus being more on like the long-term goals, which is definitely most important. So I know for me, when I first transitioned to veganism, I'd been vegan for 2 years, and then I slipped back into eating meat and dairy and those other things. And it was simply situational. It was just because I was in a situation that kind of pressured me to do those things, and not directly, but you know, indirectly pressured me, and I succumbed to those pressures. So as a little side tip, another thing that I often like to say is don't sacrifice your goals, your morals, and your ethics for somebody else's convenience. So what I mean by that is if you go to a restaurant and you're serious about this thing and you're like, yeah, I've been doing vegan for 2 weeks, I feel amazing, this is awesome, and you order a pasta dish and you're like, no cheese on it, I don't want to have any cheese on this, and they bring it out to you and they say, here you go, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh. A lot of us would just say, hey, you know what, whatever, they made it, I don't want to offend them, I don't want to take the food back, you know, and offend the chef or whatever, I'm just gonna eat it. And this is for you to decide, but, you know, if you really want to make a go at it, if you bend then, you're gonna bend in other places as well. So stick to your morals, stick to your guns, do what you know is right. So number 5 is don't expect miracles. So while this diet is super healthy and it will definitely support you in reaching whatever health goals that you have, if it's losing weight, if it's gaining muscle, if it's becoming more flexible, becoming a long distance athlete, becoming a more intellectual person, whatever it is, it will support you in that, but it won't be magic. Things are not gonna happen overnight. Just be patient and understand that the food is here to support us and we will reach our goals eventually, but sometimes it definitely takes some patience. So for the next tip, I've lost count, I don't know what number I'm at now, but the next tip is find a friend or some sort of support group to help you, especially in the beginning. So if you don't have a friend, support groups online are really awesome. There's lots of Facebook groups. There's Challenge 22 is another good one. There's a ton of Veganuary groups out there. Vivo Life runs one as well. Put the links to those in the description box down below. But yeah, it's definitely helpful to feel a sense of community around what you're doing, because it can feel really lonely a lot of the time depending on where you live in the world and what your household situation is like. So yeah, definitely finding a support group or a friend or a family member to do it with can definitely help your success. And then the final tip, it should be the 8th one if I have mentioned all of them, is to be prepared. So this is like one of the most common things that I get from people is like, yeah, I do okay when I'm at home, but then when I go out or when I'm at work or whatever, I just like go out for lunch and I buy, you know, a hamburger or whatever. And you gotta be better prepared than that. It does take some preparation and it will take some time to prepare the food. Like I said, it's gonna take some sacrifice, but we all know the saying, nothing in life is worth doing that's easy. What is it again? It's Nothing easy in life is worth doing. That's it. So if you're going to a family dinner and you're not sure if there's going to be some plant-based food there for you to eat, bring a big dish that you can eat yourself and share with everyone. If you're going to work, make sure that you prepare food so you're not tempted by that, you know, bagel place across the street that has those amazing cheese bagels that you eat every single day. no, you gotta be prepared. You're gonna have to bring something to work. Same goes if you go out for the day. Like, I often bring a whole bunch of food. Sometimes it's just a bunch of fruit and nuts and seeds, just as like a fallback plan in case I do get hungry, so I don't have to buy, you know, some junk food when I'm out, or I'm not tempted. I have food already made, perfectly ready to eat. So that's what I'm gonna share with you guys here right now. I'm gonna share with you something simple that you can make at the beginning of the week that'll provide you a good amount of calories and nutrients to build meals around. So this definitely isn't gonna be the absolute tastiest meal that I've ever made on my channel. I mean, it's gonna be great and you'll be able to build a lot of awesome meals around this and from this. But if you guys want like finely tuned, delicious recipes, check out some of my recipe videos. The tempeh tacos are one that stand out. The meals that we just did for the holidays, for Christmas, are amazing as well. So many good meals and so many sauces on my channel as well. Definitely check out my videos that I make sauces in, because if you don't know how to make sauces, you're not gonna be my friend. No, you're gonna have a tough time, because food's gonna be really bland and you're gonna look at all the sauces and they're all gonna have skim milk powder or honey or whatever in it, something that's not vegan. So we wanna control what we're eating, what we're putting into our bodies. Our bodies are our temples. All right, so here's everything you're gonna need to make this very simple dish. We need a deep pot. We've got some lentils and some quinoa there. I like to cook these two together, but you could use just quinoa, just lentils, or if you find another grain or something that you like, you could definitely use that. We've got a couple carrots here, some cauliflower, some frozen peas, and then we've got some garlic powder, onion powder, and some vegetable broth. So basically all we're doing is cooking this with this using this stuff. Very easy. And then we're gonna add the peas right at the end, just so we don't overcook them and they stay nice and bright and green. So I always like to rinse this well before I cook it. Quinoa can have a little bit of a bitter flavor if you don't rinse it first, so it's always a good idea. So you just wanna rinse and discard the water a few times until it's no longer foamy like this. All that foamy stuff is what makes the quinoa bitter, so you wanna make sure you get rid of that and just rinse it a few times until the water runs clear. And then next you want to just roughly chop all the veggies. Probably should have cut these in half first. And then you just want to fire that into the pot with the lentils and the quinoa. A lot of people ask me what this is. This is a pastry scraper. As you can see, it's super handy for getting food off the cutting board into the pot or the pan, and you can get them for, you know, pennies basically. Very cheap and very useful kitchen tool. So next you want to fire in some of the seasoning. So we got the garlic powder there. We've got onion powder. And you could use whatever you want on this. If you wanted to use curry spice, cumin, if you want to use some chili powder, you could put that in there right now as well. Bouillon de légumes. And then next you want to just fire in that vegetable broth. If you only have water, that'll work as well. But vegetable broth does make everything taste really nice, especially when you're cooking it all together like this. So that should be enough. I never measure it, man. It always works out just fine. So then you want to put that on the stove and cook it just like you would cook regular quinoa or rice or lentils or whatever it is. So just simmer it away on medium to low heat, and in about 20-25 minutes, maybe 30 at the most, this will be ready. So I'll check back with you guys then. Alright, so I think it's all finished here. It's been about 25, almost 30 minutes. The water's all gone, and it all looks cooked to me. So I'm gonna add these frozen green peas to it, mix those in while it's still hot, and then it'll thaw these at the same time. And then we'll pop the lid back on for 5 minutes or so and let those peas thaw. So just while we're waiting for the peas to thaw here, I thought I'd plug it all into Chronometer and kind of see what we're working with here, see how nutritious this meal actually is. And it's super nutritious, so it's gonna be high in fiber. We can already assume that. There's gonna be a good amount of protein in there as well. It's gonna be high in zinc, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, and then it's also got tons of vitamin A, a lot of folate, a lot of the other B vitamins as well. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna taste it and see how it is. It's gonna be pretty bland because we haven't added too much spice or sauces or anything to this, but like I said, this is just the base for your meals. You can build meals around this, add sauces to it, and I'll show you guys what I would do because I gotta make dinner right now. I'll show you guys how I would put this together in a little meal to make it more delicious, but I better try this right now, see how it is. Yeah, it's good. Just a bit bland, but we can fix that. All right, so I like to always have greens with my meals. So put a handful of greens in there. So we just got some sweet bell pepper on there as well. So a few big spoonfuls of the quinoa and lentil mix that we made. Oh, that's the best, isn't it? It's perfect. So half an avocado for some healthy fats. And then I've got some homemade tahini dressing here that I made the other night. And I make this so often, it's in so many of my videos, so you guys will have to check for that. But I'll put that on the salad. And I'm also gonna add some hemp hearts to the salad, get some more protein and some healthy omega-3s in there. And then I'm also gonna add some tamari on top of the quinoa and lentils here. If you're not familiar with tamari, it's similar to soy sauce, sort of a salty, watery sauce. It's really good though. And then no meal is complete without some hot sauce. And there it is. Nice simple dinner, hardly took any time at all. I mean, other than the time it was cooking, but I was doing other things. And there is the finished meal. Looks amazing, and we've got tons left over in the pot here. So, like I said, you could, put this in the fridge or the freezer, and you could have it as the base of meals for, the next few days. So I better try it out, let you guys know how it is. Yeah, so those lentils and quinoa with the hot sauce and tamari, really nice mix. Yeah, it's all really nice. So I think that's it for this video. Definitely hope that this video has helped you guys out and given you some confidence to do this Veganuary or eat more plant-based or whatever it might be. Hopefully it's given you some direction, some help. Definitely go back and watch my other video as well from 3 years ago. See how I've improved in my skills and in my presentation, and then also, there's some good information in that video as well. So if I've forgotten anything that you think will help new vegans, definitely put it in the comment section down below. And if you're a new vegan, or you're new to plant-based eating, or you're just plant curious, as they say, definitely leave your questions in the comments down below, and either I'll get back to you or someone else amazing from this Simnett nutrition community will help you out as well. So that's it for me for tonight. Thank you guys, much love. I'll see you on another video very soon. Best of luck with Veganuary, vegan eating, plant-based, whatever it is you're trying. Best of luck to you guys. So as usual, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and your attention. You guys are keen about your health, and I respect that. Much love. See you soon. Every time. So I'll show you guys. Holy crap, I'm burning my mouth right now.